What?
It's a guy like, what the hell is going on?
I mean,
Eventually, the two guys
it's the running joke, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, it's a battle out there? Yeah.
Anyway, I'm Theta, and this is Lessons, and we are Stoneface Reactions, and we are on the final episode of Mobile Suit Gundam. Of course, we're doing the compilation movies after this as well.
Yeah.
So this won't even be the end of Mobile Suit Gundam either. I mean, just of this series. I mean, obviously, we're doing all of Universal Century as well.
But it's also interesting in the... it's been a long journey, although this one is one of probably the shortest series that you have done. Because
it's been a long time getting from there to here.
Yes. A lot of things have happened. And I will have, when we see the movies, because I think when we see the movies, we'll be able to contrast and compare what they changed and everything. But, and I said this much earlier, but I want to repeat it. For all the faults that we hang on this show, whatever, this has been a tremendous show. It brought a lot of memories, right? It's well crafted, in spite of all the limitations that they have, right? The characters are interesting. Even when they mess up, and you're like, you idiot, why are you doing this? It's still compelling, right? I do have some criticisms that I'll say after the show, especially about a particular aspect of the character interactions. But aside from that, I really love this show. It's become one of my favorites. And I can see why it became the franchise that it did.
It did not need to be as long as it was, which is weird because then it got canceled and it's actually shorter than it was meant to be. It's just there's an element of they do everything 3 times, and it's like the 3rd time is always the best time, so learning as we go, I guess. But yeah, if you only had the 3rd time they did everything, the film would be fucking amazing. I feel like edge of your seat stuff because the character interactions are all... I always go back to... God, what was the first placing bombs episode? It's time is in the name.
Yeah, at 30. Well, it was the 30 minutes countdown thing, which they were like, "Oh yeah, we have to wait."
It was just the worst episode.
Yeah,
like hands down, pointless. It even introduces the bomb expert guy just to show that he's not good at handling bombs.
Oh, let's have the one guy who can only operate the super weapon that's keeping us alive. Have that guy try to fix everything. He does.
Or, Amuro, the Gundam pilot, has to have somebody else show up to introduce the idea of maybe you lift the Gundam's leg up, you can get to the bomb that's under its foot. Yeah. It's just bad in all respects. And then they do it again with McQueeve and his... No, sorry. It's not McQueeve. McQueeve is the 3rd time. I think it's... Ramba and his company do a bombing assault. And it's better than the first one, obviously. But I believe it's McQueen and gang that does it the best.
No, it was the guys in the hover bikes.
No, that's the first time.
Yeah.
They do the hover bike assault on the Gundam, which lures it out, that allows them to do the hover bike throwing sticky bombs at it.
Yeah.
So yeah, there is a lot of good in Gundam. It's just a lot of the intro episodes are them finding their footing, and that is the worst bit. But it does feel like they learn as they go. And I have to assume if there's any part of the creative team from this that goes on to the next, obviously not the next stuff that we're watching, because we're watching chronologically, so we're skipping all throughout release time into whatever. But I have to believe if those people learned any lessons from what they've gone through on this, that the next stuff is going to be even better. Although, we're not... Sadly, since we're going in chronological order, everything that we've come attached to in Origin gets destroyed here. Well, depending on what side you're here for. Because, I mean, Origin, you come out of it like, God... Well, half of Origin, you come at it like, God, I hope Zeon achieves its independence. These people are really put upon by that fucking Federation. And then Operation British happens, and then we find where your loyalties really land on the Zeon vis-a-vis Federation argument. And if you're still on the Zeon side after that, Mobile Suit Gundam just fucking destroys you, because there is nobody left basically, from any of that. I guess if you were really wondering what happened to Zenazabi, well, after 40-something episodes, you got to see her again. And then left to wonder, because...
she's in the moon, I guess. She's in Granada, I guess. And what happens then, we don't know.
Well, my point more so being that, again, all of those people that you come to learn about in Origin drifted off to the Zeon side of things. So, and of course, some of them didn't matter at all. Got a lot of Tachi in Origin. Little bit of Tachi in this show. One wonders why he got a backstory. But when it comes to the Federation side of things, yeah, there was a lot of deaths there too. But those characters obviously keep going. One has to wonder to what angle. I cannot think what Amuro does when the war is over, assuming he survives the war. Opens up a Radio Shack? I mean, where do you go from here?
He takes over his father's junkyard.
I assume maybe he has to go back to Side 6, again, assuming Side 6 survives the war, to take care of his dad? Like you said, the junkyard. What is it, Sanford and Son? Gundam edition? Or we go back to Earth. Like, Mom is still there. Do you take... Hey, Mom, it's me and Dad. Let me tell you something first before you go talk to Dad. He's gonna seem weirder. He might be more friendly, though. Hard to tell. Also, he'll look off at a TV and talk to it while, in fact, talking to the corner of the room.
And I killed a bunch of people.
Yeah, she already knew that, though.
Yeah, more people than I killed before, including some strange wizard lady space magic thing.
You'd be surprised at my trick shots now, though. Even better than behind over a curtain and beneath the bed. I don't know. Like I said, there's just a lot to consider what these people do if the war ever ends. I don't think the war is going to end this episode, though. I mean, even though Zeon is really hard-pressed, I think we said before, I think it's like a South Pacific situation. They've lost the ocean advantage, but aren't willing to surrender. What do we do now? I guess they could always cross frontier this shit. I mean, cross frontier or human centipede, depending on which is your preferred analogy.
Let's go with my cross frontier, because the human centipede.
Well, I mean, you could ass to mouth all the Banchai. Because the argument was that maybe some of them are self-sufficient, but the others aren't. So what if we just connect them all together and then just seal them off?
Yeah, that's how I think when people say that phrase. That's exactly what comes into mind. Giant space stations connected to each other. Well, because why would anybody else think otherwise? It's, we have a very dirty mind to think otherwise. And you know that.
Okay, well, how about this? How about you describe the situation that I'm talking about with only 3 words?
Just one. Connect them.
Sorry, are you count? Sorry, I heard connect them, but you said one word.
Them. Well, 2 words.
Just one word. Connect them.
Yeah.
I was almost going to give you the benefit of the doubt that you were like apostrophe M and that connect them. But then I said connect them, and you're like, yes, that's what I said. It's like, oh, okay, one word.
But I also said 2 words. You corrected me, and you were right. It was 2 words.
I don't know. I think in the visual of, like, you say connect them, you mean side by side? No, ass to mouth. I think when I say let's ass to mouth those Banchai, you understand exactly what I mean. It paints the perfect picture.
Oh, yeah. Perfect, yeah.
Look, unless you're, like, anthropomorphizing the Banchai in your head when I say ass to mouth, there's, like, literally no sexual connotation. If you have a sexual connotation of ass to mouth. It wasn't that way in Human Centipede. That was a forced thing.
Yeah, that was nasty. Anyway, so this episode, shall we?
Yeah, let's see how Kycelia leads the Principality of Zeon, even though the vast majority of Zeon citizens don't know that anything has happened.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and hop on into it.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this,
unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's 0 pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
last time that YouTube is not going to see this.
Yeah.
Because YouTube has never seen the opening of the show.
Mhm.
One of the
Yeah.
easiest ways to avoid the copyright situation.
Yeah, that's a problem. I had a lot with the AMVs that I've done. You have to do a lot of sharp cuts and stuff like that.
No,
so
back in the day I did AMVs, but all of them but one got claimed and removed.
Yeah.
Now it's just my number 6 video, which is itself a Rickroll, sort of. Well, the problem is it's the 2 characters from number 6 dancing, but literally never going to give you up. Literally fits the video. Like, literally
the
everything
RPM,
that he... Well, I mean, like, when he references,
the
like...
BPM, yeah.
Well, that, and when he references, like, time and everything, there's a clock underwater, and then...
Yeah.
Like, everything he sings about in the song has, like... This is a no cut, by the way. It's just literally the scene from the show. So...
Yeah.
My intent was to make a Rickroll, and then I realized, wait, this song really works. But also, everyone that listens to Never Gonna Give You Up comes to the realization that Never Give You Up is actually a good song.
Yeah.
That we've all decided to make fun of it, and then we all actually kind of like it. Nobody's actually, oh man, you Rickrolled me. And you're like, hold on, I'm going to finish the song first.
Yeah. I mean, it was a number 1 hit, I think, one top 20, I think. Britain, certain.
Back to the scene that we left you at last time.
Yeah. Who beam? So that what happened? Oh, well, not there were 2.
Its arm is a gun bit.
Yeah.
Its hands are gun bits. Oh, it's like the Darabalde from Witch from Mercury as well. So that, I think its feet were also gun bits.
That's interesting because Crabbo is so small. The suit gives her like giant hands, like those fake, toy hands that the kids use to be like the Hulk, right?
Yeah, Hulk hands they call them.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, the least amount of words possible to describe a situation. Just like we were talking about before with the... See, the one thing this show actually does... Then why'd you kill her if she was a warrior? That makes you guilty of murder. Anyway, the one thing this show does is does not show that Char is good at what he does.
A comment about Char is that Char gets hyped up a lot in the beginning, and after that, well, we're seeing him here being kicking ass, but well, sort of. But for all the talk about Char clones and etc. Char is really...
That's what I'm talking about. When I told you before, McQueen was great. He actually took down Whitebase once. He fought the Gundam to a standstill twice. Char has failed like every time. What about the kids? I guess maybe that's why they made the spacesuits for the kids.
Yeah.
Pre-planned this scenario.
I mean, they couldn't just have the kids in those big suits because somebody would have to pick them up, right? They couldn't walk or anything in those big suits.
And that's how momentum works. Slowest mover of them all doesn't get hit.
Just sideswept and decapitated his head. Oh, the decapitation has to be the head.
The one suit that the curse is actually in the head.
Wow.
Well, technically, I guess you've lost all your sensors, but you're doing new type shit now, so...
Yeah.
Sort of. Is McQueen the only one that saved a nuke? Like, did all of Zeon give up their nukes? Okay.
Yeah.
Dude who has no name, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll be fine. By the way, is that a little red on your suit? Looks like it's a red suit you're wearing. As stupid as, I forgot what the name of it was called. The new suit that Char's in.
Yeah.
What's it called?
The Zeon?
As stupid as Zeon is, it could redeem itself. You should not have any video camera, by the way. Stupid.
Oh, it says the main camera was taken out.
Anyway, it could redeem itself if it pulls like a Gurren Lagann and it could like land its head on any other decapitated suit. Did I miss something? Yeah, I'm saying.
The learning computer was enough to take that shot, I guess.
Look, if he could survive that, Kokozan, or whatever the fuck his name was, could survive that. I'm thinking that dude's alive. He's out in the desert alive right now.
I think it was a forest. Was it a desert?
No, it was in the desert during the Amuro Deserts storyline.
Yeah.
You're the one that killed her, though.
Oh, so he had to defend himself, though. Is that a guy sitting in a chair in the back going like, what the fuck am I doing here? There's a little figure at the end of the tunnel, like, apparently sitting in a chair going like...
That's not right. She was doing gambling. Hey, remember that thing where we both constantly dodge? Yeah, that.
Oh, he got a hit.
Did he? I'm so confused when they don't show the blood or the wound.
No, they saw blood.
I saw like red lightning. I don't fucking know what I saw.
I thought that was.
They've been like, they haven't shied away from blood in the past.
There goes the gun tank.
Again. Works so well for Dozel. Again, all I really care about, what are the kids up to? Right now, I'm just thinking the bonus level of the Mobile Suit Gundam video game. Pika escaped from White Base.
Oh, the Gundam got destroyed. So that's enough for the Gundam. All those battles, and at the end...
What?
It's a guy like, what the hell is going on? I mean, the two guys
it's the running joke, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, It's a battle out there? Yeah.
I guess if they're planning to surrender the place, it doesn't really matter what you're doing at the moment.
Oh, they're still fighting though.
How tall is this room? Well, that was an obvious jump. You saw the background of the move. One of these wounds seems worse than the other one. The scene that launched 1,000 ships.
Yep.
I'm still stabbed now. Don't pull it out though, you'll expose me to space. He's killed a lot of my friends. Literally, there's like none of them left. I think we're cool now. What? You said, let's stop. Oh, well, ow. You said, let's stop fighting. And I said, join me. I think that's a pretty cool plan.
There's a chart of the helmet that is.
Also, you realize the Gundam's not in this.
No.
Yes. You didn't mention it. It's like, this is the one time the middle thing has changed.
Yeah.
Literally, don't pull it. Oh, okay, you're exposed to space now. Or you didn't? Never mind. See, it's like pink purple. I really feel like you should have had that ready before you pulled it out. Who spread those fucking rumors?
I don't know.
And we'll never know this guy's name. Take that gold I gave you and go to Earth.
Young Amuro is calling you. Now you're chipping them together? What the hell?
I don't know, they're allies in this battlefield. I think you just like go back to your allies? Cool, I got a rocket for her. Oh, legit? You have a rocket for her?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck you.
Yeah.
I don't even mean that like fuck to anybody. I just mean like all the times I've ever complained about a mobile suit flying up to the cockpit of a thing and not doing it. Just Char.
Yeah.
And I
now there's
told
only two
you,
Sabis.
I told you that Garma and Char were friends. You're like, he's just using him, and he's like, here's my apology to you, Garma. See? He's still, like, thinking about him.
Yeah, but it still got him killed, though. It's like a friend of mine doesn't lure me into a trap to murder me.
Well, it depends.
Depends on what.
I don't know.
How unfriendly he is. What the hell?
No, I mean, I can have my vendettas and friends at the same time.
Normally, you don't have your vendettas with your friends. That's the whole issue about having an enemy.
Depends on when the vendetta was created. Self-destruct? Oh, the core fighter. Right, I forgot. I keep forgetting that this version of Gundam, and I guess also Seed, yeah, has like splittable parts. Or Ryu, or any of your actual friends?
そうだな。どうすればいい？アムロとはいつでも遊べるから。ララ。
I'm sorry, I didn't know we were forced ghosts.
Yeah, I guess so.
みんなが。
I guess if you thought the show was going to end, you could just give Amuro any power you want.
Yeah, they're the kids
there we
right
go.
there.
By the way, he said everyone, so I'm going to assume anyone he didn't see is dead. By the way, we're using this shot because we have no animation budget anymore.
Yeah, she goes pancake.
Don't worry, I've absorbed all of the spice. Let me tell you.
Yeah. I had this delicious omelet, Lala omelet, and now I'm having a trip. I guess this Lala omelet would be with shrooms, I guess. No, now he has a fucking force, I guess.
So you can see the complete future and the present. I was too good for Slugger? Okay. So reminding me of Galaxy Quest, where the guy's telling him how to run through the platforms.
Yeah. And she was like, why do they even have this? It's white and red. I think it's...
See, stupidly, I've been thinking he's been talking to their minds this whole time. Is that supposed to be what I'm thinking? Because they do have radios, right?
Yeah.
He could just be saying this over the radio.
Guess.
He doesn't need to be telepathic and psychic.
I guess. But the way it's worded, he's not actually moving his lips. It's just like, you know.
Yeah, they're not hearing it. They're telling us what they hear.
Yeah. Yeah, but also turn here, do this, do that. How does he know how to turn where she's at?
Because you can see it. You said that.
Yeah. There goes White Base.
I have no attachment to things. It's the characters I care about, even though it seems like I often don't.
I mean, White Base has a symbol as their home, right?
Again, well, thank you. Finally, you do something for something. I've been seeing all this time, and this is the one time you choose to salute the ship. Not Ryu, the ship.
Oh, he's even saying that Mira is a
daughter of Zeon.
No, that they're
no. He literally just said he's a daughter of Zeon.
アムロだけいないんだ。わからないかって。そんなこと言ったって。さっきアムロ兄ちゃんの声聞こえたろ。私がホワイトベースにたどり着くまで。
So one of them is also a new type, one of the little kids, or is it just mental?
No, he contacted everyone. Hayato and Kai even heard it.
Yeah.
You know, they had a real weird conception of surrender the base.
I mean, the overall damage that it took was just too much.
I don't think it would just self-destruct like that.
そんなに便利になれるわけ。
Heard that before.
さあ、ちょい右。さあ、右。はい、そこでまっすぐ。どうしたの、三人とも。さあ、こっちこっち。大丈夫だ。
Yeah, he was literally in the core fighter. I do not believe that he stayed there during the explosion.
わかるの？どこ
Yeah, you know, he had to be sending that to them, which means he's planning this whole reveal. By the way, we know that the white base was filled with crew members. This is a really small number of them.
3 shuttles.
I only saw 2.
There were 3, yeah.
Yeah, that'll make you indistinguishable from the stars surrounding me. I'm gonna have to do so much work trying to figure out, like, Job John is alive or not.
Yeah.
Especially with my face blindness and all I have is faces.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully the next Gundam is built better.
I mean, it survived 43 episodes.
I just don't like the
episodes.
segmented Gundam thing. I want one solid thing. Sure. I am... a space baby, I guess. She's still around. Do I
Somewhere.
unmark Lala as dead? Like, what do I hear? Maybe I put a half X. Like an upside down V? Who's gonna catch me? Who's gonna catch me? Haru, catch me!
He has hands.
Who's gonna run Zeon now? Oh, didn't know it was December. Oh, look at that. You, who said a peace treaty could never work.
I said they would have to fight the war and win in order to stay.
They didn't win. They're still able to fight.
No, but the Federation won, basically.
Not really.
Oh, they did. They beat the Zeon forces. That's why the Republic of Zeon.
We don't know that. We still got Granada base and whatever defenses it's got. Munzo still has a defense force. We don't know what's left of the Federation forces that can still fight. Literally, it seems more like they just fought each other to a literal standstill.
No, I think the Federation won.
Of course you do. You've seen the rest of the series. The problem here is I can't have an equal debate with you because your argument comes from a place of knowledge. All I can work with is this show, which is to say that we know Munzo still exists, all of its sides. So presumably whatever defense force Caecilia thought she was going to be able to wrangle up there. Yeah. Granada still has some defenses left.
They were down to student pilots by the time they were fighting.
Yeah, which means we still have the old men.
That's not much.
Nothing feels as good as this. Okay, I think that was Encodergasm, the people that, subtitle.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that's probably how...
the show.
Granted, I also don't think that was the font face or, like, pixelation of the rest of the show.
Yeah.
Nothing feels as good as this is finishing a show, I guess. Mm-hmm. I don't know. You're saying that, but obviously I don't think the war with the Zeons is over because of how many other shows come out after this. Yeah. So, also, Jupiter, I brought that up at the beginning of all this, the fact that they had a Jupiter fleet that went out there. Is all of the Jupiter fleet back? Did they have a mining operation that's still out there? the fact that they introduced anything that was outside the realm of the Lagrange points that the entire show is taking place in introduces the concept of something else out there.
Well, do know that while there are things that will continue in the following years, there's also a lot of UC content that is parallel to and in this in the
Oh yeah, of course.
Space War. So
I don't. Did I delete this already? Download. Yeah, I deleted it. Sorry, I had this other guy did this massive timeline thing that included like all the manga and where they fall in the timeline and the video games where they fall in the timeline. So yeah, I just want to show that in case you hadn't seen that. Yeah, I've seen the fact that there's a lot of parallel works, and the fact that I think it was Riki Gusta and Turn A Gundam, and they're like, which one comes first? You decide. Doesn't really matter. But also read my article about that whole thing. Yeah. So I mean, I'm familiar. Obviously, the titles of the shows don't really tell me anything, so it's not like a spoiler just to have seen the timeline. I'm just saying that I don't think Zeon was obviously like on its dying breath, but I don't think the war would have been over if they didn't declare peace. Again, the South Pacific thing that we brought up. Just because you've lost the ability to fight doesn't mean you surrender. If you like are a diehard about your cause, like the Vietnam War comes to my mind. The ability to win against your invading oppressors versus your willingness to fight to the end because you think that your cause is so in the right and that you are being oppressed by a foreign power. I'm not making any comments. I'm not making any comments, by the way, about the actual Vietnam War. I'm just trying to superimpose one easily. I'm not also.
That is a question.
I'm also not entirely explaining it to you. I'm explaining it to the viewership. That I'm just trying to superimpose an easily understandable thing, a very much more complex thing on top of the show.
That is a question I think has to be left to the ones that follow, after Space War, the Space War.
Space War 1, you're about to do the Macross thing again. By the way, want to point out that nobody in Macross has ever said Space War 2 or indicated anything. So, not the Great War or the War to End All Wars, just Space War 1. With the indication that we're leaving a number just in case there's a second one. We know
I think they were riffing on the 1 year war and they just went with Space War 1 and got stuck.
I don't know. I prefer the way that C does it, where it's the 11-month war at the start. Turns out to be like a 14-month war at the end.
Yeah. So now I guess I can talk about the entire series so far, because there's some other stuff that happens. We talked about how...
Well, also remember that we still have to watch the movies and whatever changes in the movies that you might be misremembering in the show.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, but as far as we're talking about this, because I really don't have the frontier problem where I misremember the movies, because I watched them both here. I only watched the one movies I haven't really watched are the sort of recompilation movies for UC 79, 0079. So I don't have that problem yet. Of course, they might change other things. I love the characters. Yes, I was a Federation guy, and this certainly is a Federation story first and foremost, right? It's white base. It's
Amuro's the main character, and Amuro's on the Federation side.
Yeah. We talked about how they treat the concept of war, characters who died. This brings a lot of memories. The two things I would say character related is we talked a little bit about how Char. Actually, this is what I'm going to say about Char at this point of the story, right? Char became the Black Horse character, and they're like, oh, the fandom kind of. It's like Han Solo wasn't meant to be the main character, but it was like, oh, Han Solo's so great, blah blah blah, right? Luke Skywalker is supposed to be the main character, but Han Solo could have got elevated right by him, right? And I see that also in Char. Like, I feel that in the entirety of all of Gundam, not just Gundam UC 0079, Mobile Suit Gundam, Char became more like an archetype than an actual character. Because we've seen multiple Char clones, but they're playing on that of the fame that Char has. Char here is an important character, but he's sort of almost like a bookend character. And the first couple of episodes, like, oh, the red comet, he's so great, and then he disappears, then reappears, doesn't really do anything until like the last third, and by that time, Amuro was clearly the better pilot and everything else, right?
Well, he never
He
won.
In fact, Char said, "Oh, even when you have origins, to say, oh, he's going to kill the Sabi family. He only killed 2 of the Sabis,
One.
and 2 because he lured the one another.
Doesn't matter. He didn't kill Garma. Garma got himself into a position where he died. Kycilia is literally the only one that he killed.
Directly. All the other Sabis either died in combat or killed each other, right? Girin, I think, did more damage to his own family than anybody else that
I guess we didn't actually get to see what Girin's ultimate plan, how it would have turned out. I assume not as any better than Kycilia's, but I don't know if Girin would have been a better battlefield commander to be able to like maybe turn this battle around.
Kycilia kills her brother in Origins, and kills 2 of her brothers, right? Shoots one and blows up the other, and nearly kills the third, right? Garma dies in the hands of White Base, right? Because he was lied to, manipulated by Char. Kycilia is the only one that...
Dozal dies to Amuro.
Dozal dies to Amuro. So the only one that really gets a rocket to the head that gets decapitated, was Kycilia. It's like, oh yeah, send you to hell, bitch.
I think it matters that she got decapitated. The explosion and the exposure to space and everything. I don't...
Yeah, but it was sort of like, it was a way of telling us she is very much dead, right? She got decapitated by the rocket, the explosion got her.
Legitimately, they're all dead. Degwin got hit by a super weapon. He's gone.
Disintegrated.
Kycilia exploded by a rocket. All the circumstances,
and the ship
matter.
got blown.
Girin got shot through the back of the head directly and then floated around for a bit, so you know that he was dead. The Dozal got blown up by the Gundam and the beam saber. Garma died kind of off screen, actually, if you think about it.
Oh, the ship crashed.
Yeah, the ship crashes and everything, but we see the ship explode, but we're outside of the ship.
Yeah, we don't see a beam.
Literally, that is escape pod moments for most survivors.
Except that Sion, except for one, maybe two times, Sion doesn't use escape pods or anything like that, right?
I'm just saying that we didn't directly see Garma die. You could argue we didn't actually also see Sasro directly die, if not for Dozal kicking the door open and shouting that he was dead.
Yeah, or also the fact that his girlfriend believed that he was dead and died trying to avenge him, and...
You're talking about Garma, not Sasro. Yeah.
And
I mean,
Garma.
I'm just saying I could see in like lesser works that we like pan back to a hospital bed and Sasro completely burnt, but still alive. Beep, beep, beep. And that's where our revenge comes from.
Yeah.
Mobile Suit Gundam 2, Sasro's Revenge.
The other thing I want to say was that
Garma.
At the end, the whole romance thing that they may have been going for was kind of messed up.
What romance thing?
Because, Mirai and Bright were pointing that they're doing that. And all of a sudden, Slagger shows up. Like, oh, get the ring, whatever.
You got his name right once, I think.
Yeah, I don't care.
Slugger. It's an E, by the way. His name is filled with E's. Slagger. She's got him Law. It's 3 letters.
Slagger Law.
Slaw, you already got it wrong the first time.
Yeah, Slagger.
Anyway, we both agreed. It's a weird thing. He's an older man.
Then
double her size, by the way.
The only one I think got handled well, except for, what's his name? Hayato, going like, oh, by the way, baby, I might die like in 5 minutes, but you want to hit the
again, literally, they've been friends for a very long time. Plus, she's been taking care of him in the med bay, along with Sun Mao.
And other people, so...
Well, Sun Mao was our main medic guy, yeah.
I did like the breakup scene. It clearly was a breakup scene, right? They're like, hey, listen, I'm sorry I was a jackass. And she's like, yeah, I understand. You are a jackass.
But break up? Who's breaking up?
Not breakup, but like Frobal and Amuro were talking.
Yeah, they've never been together. Can't break up what's never been.
It's the final, acts on that chip.
That
right?
already
that
happened.
ship-
That happened episodes
Yeah.
ago. Vis-a-vis my whole conversation about they do everything 3 times.
Yeah, but that was the one that they was done well. Like they're like, listen, I
think
was a
it was done well
jackass.
the first time. I mean, second time.
Yeah.
The time before this time.
Yeah, but I particularly like that scene. It was like, listen, because I like when
Well, we
characters
both had a
actually talk
whole
it out.
we both had a whole note section about the last time they had this and how it reflected on their previous experiences and how they've grown as people. This time
Yeah.
was just a really compact version of what they did last time. So that's
Yeah.
why I think last time was better because they had more time to like feel it out.
Mhm. But then the whole sailor thing, it's like her brother's like, "Oh, go to Amuro." And everyone's like,
Sometimes your
Huh?
impersonations of these people are spot on. Chef's kiss.
"Yeah."
I loved
yeah.
it when Char was like, "Oh, go to Amuro." My favorite scene of the episode.
You know what I mean? It's like the whole thing is
No
like,
changes,
what
no
the-
notes.
leave the war, be a good woman, blah blah blah. I like the fact that he gave him the goal. Like, okay,
Yeah,
leave
like
the
I
war.
said,
I understand.
do everything 3 times.
But
I
this
gave
time
you the
around, I was
gold
like,
last time. Now I'm going to tell you everything. No money now, though.
I'm broke. I gave you
Hey, a suitcase full of gold.
what more do you want?
Hope you didn't give it to all your friends. Oh, you did?
Well,
Shit.
I'm sure she kept one bar, I guess.
Well,
for
hopefully most
herself.
of them died, so the gold gets spread out between less people now.
Yeah, the survivors of White Base.
Yeah, what I said before about like the whole World
Mhm.
War II thing, where they get a lot of money and they put it into an account, and whoever the last one left alive is gets to keep it.
Yeah, and I actually like the fact that this show ends with the destruction of the White Base and the Gundam, because it's a good. I think what they were trying to hammer in is like, yeah, we're done. We might have future shows, whatever, but which they didn't know we're gonna have.
I like
But
to think
we're
that
done with
the
this
idea was the whole transitory nature of things, that what you
Mhm.
fight for doesn't last forever, and that they're showing
Yeah.
us these things that we've been attached to this whole time, while at the same time completely subverting that message with Lala surviving death in Amuro's head. By the way, the things we fight for are transitory and won't last forever, but space ghosts exist. Life is forever. Do
Yeah,
what
the
you
whole thing
want.
with- The whole thing
Solo.
with Lala is, I said this before, the whole new type thing had to be introduced sooner, and they kept it, they toned it out a little bit with the whole space ghost thing at the end. It would have been better.
Honestly, I would have preferred it if they never introduced the new type thing. I'm
Yeah.
not saying it's a bad idea. It's not a bad idea, but I just don't think I would have bought into the show as hard if they had done it from the beginning. By the way, the show is going to be all about space magic nonsense. The fact that they started with the Gundam as a learning computer, it was way more grounded. I mean, even though that's weird for 1979, I guess not. They had AI movies
No.
back then.
Yeah,
It just seems weird. I don't know. It's the least grounded thing, but it's still grounded. So
I mean, Seed has coordinators, so the idea.
yeah,
at
but
least
Seed is
of
2005. I'm talking about. This is the first show of the whole franchise
Mhm.
that they didn't know was going to be a franchise.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that the space magic thing, well, I don't know.
yeah,
It's not well grounded because we don't even know how it works. I don't know. It's not well explained. Like the
Yeah.
fact that Lala exists after death is a weird thing that I don't
Mhm.
know what you do with after this. When we get to UC 2009, and are we gonna be talking to everyone that died before? You've got to defeat Neo Zeon, and we're like, shut up, Lala. You won't shut the fuck up. By the way, is
He's like,
Amuro
"What's
still here? At least he gives good advice. Sailor, get
Yeah.
the fuck away from me.
Yeah,
You introduced Force Ghost. Did nobody else in my family care about me but the guy who tried to kill me? To get more, was my uncle around?
yeah.
I mean, I'm being flippant here. It's a weird concept that they don't explore.
And also, it seems to be as well that Amuro kind of apparently falls in love with Lala because he's becomes obsessed with her. It's like, oh, Lala this, Lala that. It's like, dude, you just met her, and when you met her, you knew that he was with one of your enemies. So it's like,
I guess there's an element of new types know each other in a way that regular people just can't. He fully connected with her or something.
when telepaths make love. It's amazing.
I would say that I wish that we got one less episode of Side 6, and then we did a you've watched Babylon 5 before. I think I confirm this every time we talk. That was that one episode where they're at the side core with just Bester, and I think it's like season 5 of Babylon 5, and they're like, not everything, as much as they like to think, not everything revolves around them. Like, I wish we had an episode like that, but for the Flanagan Institute, where the Flanagan Institute's testing out these new type things, and they use the episode to explain with new types what new types are.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird, but they do this, and like, you show us scenes like people like being not shot at, but maybe like little sports chambers or something, like where they're playing baseball or something, and it's like they anticipate when the ball is going to hit, and they're like perfect athletes, and show us. I know you're trying to do a good job of show, don't tell, but what you're doing actually is telling us with mystic words that make no sense, and then I don't know, it's really weird. I really wish there was a Flanagan Institute episode.
At least one, yeah. And overall, I really like the series. It's not perfect. It has its episodes. Actually, surprisingly, has very few episodes that are like, I absolutely hate this episode.
What are you talking about? There were a lot of episodes that you fucking hate. It's all the early ones, though. Not all of the early ones. It's the ones in the starting arc, where they haven't figured out how to tell a story right. Again, Time Be Still, that was the name of that one, is the worst episode of Mobile Suit Gundam. I don't know, maybe I said that there was worse during the time, but it's always the one that comes to me.
Don't Thailand.
I didn't have a problem with that. That was dumb, but it had a narrative that kept pace. Like, I mean, maybe the kids were fucking annoying, but like, Amuro wandering around in his boxers just arguing with kids, it's like, it keeps a pace to the story, though.
Yeah. Well, the whole Mobile Suit Fu thing, which
they literally do all throughout the show, so it's not like impossible. It's
but they don't never mention it again. I think they mention it a couple of more times.
They don't mention it by name, but they do it. Like the fact that Amuro kills everything with the beam sabers, you want to know martial arts with your Gundam. You got to be able to stop that guy from stabbing you, otherwise you're dead. Yeah. Everyone needs to know Mobile Suit Fu, or whatever the fuck it was called.
Yeah, MBF, Mobile Suit Fu. But yeah, pacing had some problems, but overall, I still liked it.
It should have been, if it was a modern anime, 24 episodes, no, maybe
36.
24 episodes, 2 cores of 12. The initial run-up, ending, I don't know, Ryu's death, because Ryu's death is post Ramba, and then Heyman is gone. That's our initial attachment. And then after that, we go serious arc where we're leading up to the end of the war. And then you really cut it down. I mean, I'm talking like, I guess that would be what? How long are the movies? It'd still be a little bit more than the movies, but way less than the actual run of the show.
Also, again, talking about doing things more than once. The fact that you had the first base was what was the first base?
Luna 2?
No, not Luna 2. The defense stations that Sion had, the 2 asteroids. Solomon, and then you had
Abaquo.
I'm
not going to try and say it right.
It feels kind of a bit redundant. It's like, oh, we defeated that. Okay, we're going to have to fight again.
It's not redundant because Solomon was their launch base to attack stuff with. Abaquo is their last line of defense. They're 2 different bases for 2 different purposes. Also, I'm assuming Abaquo is within the Lagrange point of Side 3, whereas Solomon was in the Lagrange point, I think it was at Side 1? Side 1 or 2, I have it in my notes.
But the fact that there's attacks on 2 asteroid bases. Not back to back, but close to it.
If you were describing this on like a war game scenario, it would make a lot of sense. Plus, they've shown us a map of the system and Lagrange points before.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not. I understand what you're saying, but also remember what I said. It was everything happens 3 times.
Yeah.
Luna 2, Solomon, Abaquo. 3 fucking times. We do everything 3 times.
Yeah.
So
I really wonder, because I don't know what happened to them. What's going to happen to the kids in the future? That's one thing I do not know. which
I'm
they might just
assuming you
mention
don't
them.
build them up as background characters and then not do
No.
something with them. Especially given
Or they
all
just-
of the series that you're going to explore shit in.
Yeah.
How many series take place within a time frame where they would still be alive by normal human time span?
Yeah.
It would be criminal not to reuse characters.
I guess, but I see them as my vision of them, and I don't know about this comments. By the time people comment on this video, we'll probably know one way or the other.
Or dead. World
yeah.
War III would have happened, and
Yeah.
this will never get released because the nukes will wipe the servers.
Yeah.
God damn those hypersonic missiles! I curse you in advance.
Fro Bao might have just adopted them. You know,
I would
she was the
not
one that
be
was
opposed to that, mostly because of the Kika
yeah.
daycare. I don't know what to call it, daycare episode where she cries for Frabo. She wants to go home. That still gets to me a little bit because that is literally, we don't know anything about what happened to their families. But when she's crying, where the insert would be crying for her mother, she cries for Frabo and takes them back home. It's, oh man, that is the emotional highlight of the entire thing for me.
We complain a little about how she was mothering Amuro, but she also was a mother to them. You know, she was the one who made sure that they bathed. Perhaps they also slept in her quarters as well. And she was the one who said, what about the kids? So she was always thinking about the kids, right? Like, oh, we're going to leave the kids behind. We can't do that. So I see her adopting them right there. What? No more than 5 or 6 years old, the oldest at most?
I guess.
Right?
I mean, like I said, I'm not opposed to it in the fact that they do treat her as almost a mother figure.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know. I kind of
I don't
want
see her
more
staying
for
in the military.
Frabo. Yeah, no, no, she actively wanted out, but that's when they said, "Oh,
Yeah.
we'd have to arrest you for life."
I mean, she could. She can have a job or something like technical expert or something like that and be a mom. You know, be a.
I don't know, just something that seems unsatisfying to that. Only from the Frabo angle. I mean, that's completely satisfying from Kika and Gang's angle. Like that gets to me, right? But I don't know. Just like Frabo deserves more than just to be relegated as, caregiver, because that's what she's always been. That doesn't give any imagination to what Frabo wants from her life.
Yeah, but if she doesn't want to be in the military, has to finish her schooling, I guess. Because
maybe she wants to be a writer. Maybe Seed has taken the wrinkle and she wants to be a war photographer. Then maybe Muriel Ha is actually Frabo.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, all the shit that you've seen, right?
No, but I don't know what happens to Frabo after this. Actually, I don't know what happens to most of the characters. I know what happens to some of the characters who are highlighted and important, which I won't say because that would ruin it. But I won't talk about Frabo. I don't remember exactly what happens.
Yeah, well, eventually we'll get to the shows that you haven't seen before. And that everything will turn into an honest debate between us rather than one of us sitting on high with the knowledge of ancients.
Yeah. So overall, I haven't felt this way since the end of SCF.
When you say I haven't felt this way, what are you feeling? I mean, you've been complimenting the show, but emotionally, where are you at?
I loved it. I love the show.
Because I really didn't start getting emotional until you reminded me of the Frabo, I want to go home. It's like, oh man. Because again, that's the emotional highlight of the entire fucking thing for me. I know, I said I didn't really care when Ryu died, because that was a self-choice, right? And I wasn't really attached to Ryu all that much, because they started pulling out his I'm the dad of the ship, or whatever the fuck they were doing with him, just right there at the very end. Matilda was going to die no matter what. Literally, she was saying, let's crash face her into the ground, so we'll take out the Zaku with us. And then the Zaku murders her anyway. She was not getting out of there. I mean, also, it's kind of stupid, because I think she was trying to save the ship a little bit, but if she had stayed on White Base, she would have survived. And then finding out she had a husband like, way later anyway. Or a fiancé.
Fiancé, and they never got married.
Yeah, well, I mean, they were going to.
We see images of Amuro imagining the wedding, and he getting invited to the wedding, but we don't.
Yeah, well, I mean, assumedly they were going to get married after the war. Garma was pretty awesome as a death, because, he's out to seek Zeon and everything at the very end. Dozel went out like a badass, too. Like I said, if I was playing a game, climbing out of the no longer working mobile armor, grabbing a gun and like trying to go out that way. And the fact that he might have actually been a new type too. Because the fact that only people who've been read that way by Amuro turned out to be new types. I can't imagine what his power would have been, given that he went like full space crane thing, whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, the only real emotional bit was the kids for me, because otherwise it's, well, I say not. When I say emotional bit, I mean like sad or whatever actually makes you feel something right here. Because the rest of it was like anger or frustration at stupid choices being made. I will say though, the animation style never really got to me as a problem.
Oh.
Like because we went from Origin back to 1979's animation, and I just kind of like jived
it's,
with it
it's
the whole
of its
time.
era, yeah.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. I'm not complaining about it. I jived with it the whole time. It was weird when they go from like a smooth animation to like Johnny Quest. Like they're trying to progress the animation style in the middle, or actually right at the end, or sometimes close to the end.
The faces get very deep shadows and cuts, and you're like,
yeah, I mean it's standoutish, but it's like, it didn't take me out of it. So where I thought I might develop an issue with the old style storytelling or animation, it never really hit a problem for me. I know I keep starting it like it never really hit. Like I'm gonna say, it's a problem. I didn't really like. Never really hit a problem for me. I enjoyed it the entire way through. It is going to be a bit jarring when we get to after we finish the movies, and the next thing we're going to do is the Requiem for Vengeance, since it's very new and CGI. We're going to be jarring our way through all different types of stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's some CGI. It's like Igloo. I like the stories, but the CGI is like.
Oh yeah, no. But before we get to Igloo, we're going to have to do another actual animation first, so that we can. make Igloo even more jarring when we get to it.
Yeah, we gotta cleanse the palate. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I overall enjoyed it. It's an odd story from the war's perspective of what did we actually do. Like Zeon, they did Operation British. We had the battle at Loam. Then we went and conquered the Earth, basically, and then had the Battle of Odessia, where they just pushed us back. Oh, sorry, man. I wrote down all of them. What happened after Odessia? Of course, that's when I closed my notepad.
The attack on
Jaburo. Then they follow Jaburo, which was just, by the way, a char attack with less of forces than they needed. And then that led to Solomon, which indicates that after the Battle of Odessia, they were already prepared to launch against. It's like, what happened to Zeon? That must be one of the side stories. What fucking happened to Zeon that they won the Battle of Loam, conquered the Earth, and then lost the forces needed to hold anything? Because it doesn't seem like, why would the Battle of Odessia...
It's very much side story, which I cannot talk about.
I'm saying it has to be, because I don't understand how the Battle of Odessia would ruin the space forces at Solomon. Like, if that's their main launch force for all the space attacks and everything they do, they must have lost a lot of shit between Loam and when we see Odessia, or when we, air quotes here, see Odessia.
Odessa, yeah.
Yeah, and then after that, it's Operation Star One, which we don't actually see the end of, because they declare peace, which goes to show that if Degwin hadn't died, they might have gotten peace too. Maybe not, because it was Revel on the other ship, and that guy's a fucking jackass.
Oh, he was willing to let Degwin dock.
Well, no, I don't know if he was willing to dock. He was willing to let him approach.
Yeah.
But I was expecting if Revel just like, okay, he's between all of our ships, open fire. The guy who was like, let our Caterpillar tank walk into the nuke range, because we're not going to stop, even if he's threatening us with a nuke. Bequeath Odessia.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope Revel really did die in that fight. Again, my thing is that I remember Revel is in 8th MS team, so...
but remember the MS team happens...
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying, is that I don't know when it happens, though, in 8th MS team. The idea that, oh, I heard you died. The reports of my death have been highly exaggerated. I never liked Revel, not since the beginning. Even when... was it Giran who was on stage? No, it was Dozel was on stage at the Academy giving a speech, looking over at him. He's sitting in the corner like, you talking to me? Fuck that guy. I would say discussion we've had about the possibility of the new Gundam series. By the way, by the time I'm saying this, the new Gundam series is probably out. We're probably already watching it. the possibility of it being an alt universe century, all it would have to do is not have Rebel in it.
Just to be good. Yeah.
Well, no, not just to be good. I just mean like the war could have been like maybe they went to peace. Rebel not giving his speech about the whole we can't trust Zeon to not have thing. They might have had a peace conference.
Yeah.
A lot of shit could happen. Actually, I'll tell you what I've heard. It's just another rumor. Could put this anywhere. I heard the possibility of it being an alt UC is one where Char actually captures the Gundam at the very beginning of Mobile Suit Gundam. Yeah, so I guess because feels like most of the losses incurred in this series are to the fucking Gundam.
Yeah. So there's that. So that was the Mobile Suit Gundam,
1979,
the original 0079.
And of course, the next thing we'll be doing is the movies. Oh, sorry, I mentioned that we would be doing Requiem for Vengeance. That actually comes after Cucuruz Doan's Island. I never said his name right. The movie, because obviously we're doing the 3 compilation movies, or not, technically 3 compilation movies, whatever. They have different things in them. Then the Island, because it's actually as close to this story that we've been watching all together, and that will complete this saga before we move on to other Universal Century Year 79 works. And that's also when we'll have our poll and everything about the different characters and whatnot.
Oh, that's going to be a big one, yeah.
Yeah, that'll also take me a year, I feel like, to program into the Google Docs to give us my score, your score, audience score. It'll be a triumvirate of tiers.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess that puts an end to the series. So once again, I have been Theta. This has been Lessons. We've been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye. Zeke Zeon. Push the talk. Damn it.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?